Welcome to our OneSource e-learning pack, which describes the type of documents you can expect to see in OneSource, the purpose of each document type, and what this means for you. First, let's consider what OneSource is about. The objectives and purpose of OneSource is that we can all quickly and easily access the documents we need to do our work safely where and when we need them. That our documents are developed to a high standard that is clear, concise and easy to read, so that we can easily access the information we need. That users of documents are consulted when documents are written and can also provide feedback on how documents can be improved. And that our documents are regularly reviewed so that they continue to meet our needs. And finally, that we all use and comply with the documents that have been developed to keep us safe. So in this pack, we will tell you about the type of documents you will find on OneSource. We will show you what the documents look like on the OneSource search screen, and we will explain the purpose of each document type, so that you will know the purpose of the documents you are viewing and how the document applies to you. Some of the documents you find on OneSource contain rules that you are expected to comply with. These documents are policies, company standards, procedures and restrictions. Other documents are provided for information purposes only. These documents are alerts, guides and forms. So by knowing the type of document you are viewing, you will know whether it is mandatory to comply with it. And all the documents are easily accessible on OneSource, on desktops in the office and on your iPads and iPhones on site, so that you can quickly and easily access them to support you to work safely. So let's look at each of the document types so that we can be clear about its purpose and how it applies to you. A policy describes what needs to be done and applies right across the company. Compliance with all policies is mandatory. A company standard, like a policy, describes what is done. Company standards apply to staff involved in the design, construction, commissioning, maintenance and operation of our assets. They specify the expected level of quality, the tolerances allowable for implementation, and/or a consistency of approach for the activities encountered during the life cycle of an asset. Compliance with company standards is mandatory. A procedure describes how a task or series of tasks is completed and may also indicate who performs each action step. It describes the task step by step. Procedures govern how we work every day and are used when planning and carrying out work. Complying with procedures is mandatory. A restriction is a modification on the normal use of an asset, chemical or material, or perhaps an instruction to cease using an asset, chemical or material in a particular way or at all. You will see operations, technical, environmental and safety restrictions. Restrictions apply to anyone involved in completing an activity and are mandatory. Now we will move on to the informative documents. An alert is an important announcement that requires immediate attention. It should be read by everyone involved in completing the activity it refers to, immediately. It is an information document. It does not contain rules. A guide gives you some additional information to supplement the information in another document. So it may perhaps provide some additional information about steps to be carried out in a procedure. A guide is informative and does not contain rules. And a form is a document with blank space where you can insert information. You download the form to complete it. So let's look at the new document types in relation to what you would have been used to in the past. In reality, many of our documents were a mix of the new document types, which made it confusing for users, as we were not always aware how a document applied to us. But as a general rule, job aids are now being replaced by policies, company standards, procedures or guides. If they contain rules in relation to what we do, they are policies or company standards. If they contain rules about how we do a task, they are procedures. If they contain information only, they are guides. Technical notifications, or TNs, have been replaced by restrictions if they're restricting the use of an acid, chemical or material, or alerts if they contain urgent information but no rules. Operations briefing notes, or OBNs, are being replaced by procedures if they contain rules about how we do a task, or alerts if they contain urgent information but no rules. Safety alerts are now one of the types of alerts you will see, while operations restrictions, or ORs, are one of the types of restrictions you will see. As I stated earlier, the type of document indicates its purpose, that is, whether it contains rules and therefore shall be complied with, or whether it is informative only. So on a day-to-day basis, we comply with company standards and procedures when we plan and do our work. We may use guides for more information or forms to update details relating to a task. Alerts issued to highlight important, urgent information that requires our immediate attention. Restrictions issued when the normal use of an acid, chemical or material has been changed or prohibited. And all our documents comply with our policies. All OneSource documents have a clear purpose. Our objective is that when you view a document, that even before you read it, you will know from the type it is, what its purpose is, and how it impacts you. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback about OneSource, please contact us at onesource@esb.ie. We commit to getting back to you with a response. And finally, thank you for viewing and listening to this pack.